सुस्वागतम। तृतीय पद्म फेस्टिवल ज्ञानयज्ञ फाउंडेशन द्वारा आयोजित सत्र क्रमांक 5 डॉक्टर BN सुरेश आपल्या सर्वांचे स्वागत आहे। डॉक्टर BN सुरेश सर हे सायन्स अँड इंजिनिअरिंग किंवा विज्ञान आणि अभियांत्रिकी या पद्मा अवॉर्डच्या कॅटेगरीमध्ये सरांना 2002 साली पद्मश्री पुरस्कार आणि 2013 साली पद्मभूषण पुरस्कार भारत सरकारद्वारे प्रदान करण्यात आलेला आहे। काल सायंकाळी चौथे सत्र पंडित हरिप्रसाद चौरसियाजी यांचे झाले। पंडितजी हे पद्मभूषण आणि पद्मविभूषण पुरस्कार प्राप्त आहेत आणि त्यानंतर 2 पद्म पुरस्कार मिळालेले डॉक्टर BN सुरेशजी यांचे सत्र आपण आता ऐकणार आहोत, संवाद सत्र ऐकणार आहोत। त्यांच्यासोबत संवाद करणार आहेत आपल्या विद्यार्थ्यांचे बरेच शाळांमध्ये व्हिजिट देऊन त्यांच्या संपर्कात असलेले अमित राखाजी, सर्वात यंग पैनलिस्ट आहेत। दूसरे पैनलिस्ट हैं श्री महेश सहस्रबुद्धे जी। आप ग्राइंड मास्टर मशीन्स में मार्केटिंग डिपार्टमेंट के हेड हैं। आपको मशीन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, असेंबलिंग, शॉप फ्लोर एंड मार्केटिंग एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन एंड मेंटेनेंस का काफ़ी सारा एक्सपीरियंस 30 सालों का है और आपके कंपनी के बनाए हुए मशीन्स DRDO और इसरो में सप्लाई हुए हैं। हमारे सबसे सीनियर और रिस्पेक्टेड पैनलिस्ट है डॉक्टर अनीता मुरुक्कर जी। आपको 30 साल का फिज़िक्स का टीचिंग का एक्सपीरियंस रहा है। आप यूनिवर्सिटी में 30 साल टीचिंग किए हैं और मैम की फ़िज़िक्स में डॉक्टरेट है और पोस्ट डॉक मैम ने इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ साइंस बेंगलुरु से किया हुआ है। Dr. BN Suresh sir, presently he is Chancellor at the chair of Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology, Thiruvananthapuram. And without wasting much of time, as sir has got further schedule to move towards Bengaluru, so I'll share just 2 sentences about him. That sir has been director Indian Space Research Organization at Bengaluru and he is still visiting so many places all across India to guide, motivate and inspire the students so that the students will have first-hand experience and guidance from the personality who is having very much good technical hand and he is especially known as a rocket scientist. So with the big clap we welcome Dr. BN Suresh sir. And now I would request the panelists to take over the session from us. Before that Dr. Anita Murukkar ma'am यांना मी विनंती करतो की आपण पुष्पगुच्छ देऊन डॉक्टर BN सुरेश सरांचे स्वागत करावे। ज्याच्यामध्ये या तृतीय पद्म फेस्टिवलमध्ये सम्मिलित असलेल्या सर्व पद्म पुरस्कृतांची नावे लिहिलेली असतात आणि हे स्मृतिचिन्ह आहे। दिस इज द मेमेंटो प्रिपेयर्ड विथ द ब्रास मटेरियल and the shape is of Padma, that is lotus.
Everybody, it is our pleasure and privilege to have with us this morning Dr. BN Suresh, a decorated Indian space scientist and a pioneer in the development of Indian space launch vehicles. I thank the organizers for giving us the chance to interact with him. And on behalf of all, I am initiating a dialogue with Dr. B.N. Suresh. Sir, to start with, can you tell us something about your childhood memories? Because everybody has some story behind it, the schooling, and I have gone through your book. आपका बुक मैंने पढ़ा है, उसमें आपने लिखा है कि होसिकेरे से आप कैसे कोप्पा गए, कोप्पा से शिमोगा, then शिमोगा से बैंगलोर. So our audience will like to listen to you about your childhood.
Thank you. मैंने एक गांव से, वो तो कर्नाटका स्टेट, चिकमगलूर डिस्ट्रिक्ट, उधर से 100 किलोमीटर दूर में है, a remote village. Only 3 houses are there. And I started my primary way back in 1947. And वो तो एक ही रूम था उधर, और 4 क्लासेस था ना, एक ही टीचर भी था. So it was, I had to walk about 1.5 to 2 kilometers every day through the forest. वो तो बहुत बड़ा फॉरेस्ट है. उसके बाद कोप्पा बोलता है उस टाउन को. That's about 4.5 kilometers. रोज I used to go by walk along with one of my cousins. वो भी फॉरेस्ट में जाना है, फॉरेस्ट में जाना है, फॉरेस्ट में फिर आना है. वो 4 वर्ष मेरा मिडिल स्कूल कोप्पा में हुआ. उसके बाद हाई स्कूल भी उधर था, और सभी वो समय कन्नड़ा मीडियम था, और कोई ना कोई स्कूल नहीं था. So I studied all in Kannada medium. So I think those who are studying in Marathi don't get perturbed. Anybody can do anything. Don't think that you are not in English medium. उसके बाद my father, he had a, we are all agriculturists. And he used to have business in Shimoga. इसलिए शिवमोगा में फर्स्ट ग्रेड कॉलेज था. PUC उधर पढ़ा. फर्स्ट टाइम it was English medium. I can't talk English when I go to college. I used to feel very shy. But then, effort padna hai. So we managed. Then, of course, came to Bangalore, did my science in Bangalore, one of the prominent colleges, Vijaya College. उसके बाद इंजीनियरिंग में बहुत इंटरेस्ट था. Fortunately, those days, engineering was 5 years. But because I had completed BSc, एक इंस्टीट्यूट में provision था 4 years के लिए. So fortunately, I got the admission. And once I got into engineering, वो तो just like fish in the water बोलता है ना, इसलिए वो हमें बहुत कुछ हो गया. और इंजीनियरिंग के बाद फिर पढ़ने के लिए वो those days, Indian Institute of Science, even today, वो तो बहुत prominent institution in whole of India. उधर admission, I got it, went and joined. 2 weeks I was there. But somehow I did not like the subject they were teaching. I was very disappointed. क्या करना, फीस दिया है. But then I also had applied at IIT Madras. IIT Madras, I got an admission into a different field, which was very interesting. मुझे dilemma हो गया, क्या करना अभी, फीस भी दे रहा, दे I have already paid. So I thought I should go and talk to my parents. I went back to village, discussed with my father. उन्हें बोला, whatever is interested you pursue. Don't worry about paying fees and all that. I leave it to you.
Very important.
I felt so happy that day. बहुत खुश हो गया. That may be the reason that I was able to do many things in my life by this single decision. And uske baad wo bola, look, I had not gone out of any other place excepting Bangalore, and very young. I think I was just about 16 at that time. My father told me, I will not come to Madras, you go and manage. When as a single young kid, I had to travel all the way by train into big city of Madras, go there. उसके बाद किधर है ये IIT, उधर जाना, वो सभी सर्च करना, वो सभी I did. I think that gives the confidence in us. हम सभी, some time or other, we have to be independent. You can't depend only on your parents or elders. We have to be standing on our leg. Of course, I did. Then further, maybe we can discuss.
Very important message he gave, that a student should be, at some time he or she must be independent, actually.
Ma'am, sir, definitely that was a pretty beautiful explanation how your all school life went. But always there is, मतलब हम बोलते हैं कि शिक्षक जो है वो कहीं ना कहीं एक स्टूडेंट के लाइफ में एक बहुत बड़ा रोल प्ले करता है. वो मोटिवेशन के लिए बोलिए या फिर उसका सब्जेक्ट के प्रति एक रुचि डेवलप जो करना है या इंटरेस्ट डेवलप करना है या फिर एक आइडल डेवलपमेंट करना है. तो उस तरह से आपके लाइफ में, स्कूल लाइफ में स्पेशली, ऐसे कौन टीचर्स थे जो आपको काफ़ी इंस्पायर किए साइंस के लिए, या फिर आप उनको देख के साइंस के प्रति एक रुचि जग जाती है?
Excuse me, I will add it to this question. There are students and teachers who are in audience, and in your book you have specifically mentioned about primary teacher, and whenever you are gone from your village to some other a bigger town for education, and you stayed at the teacher's place to have the education. So I would like to, request you to tell us something about that to students and the teachers who are here present.
A very interesting question आपने पूछा. Very important thing is one's future mostly decided by how you study in primary schools. I was a very close associate of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. मैंने 16 years I worked with him when I joined Space Organization, 1969 to 1983. He used to tell always, there are only 3 people who influence the kids, allow them to grow. Of course, always it is father, mother, and next person is teacher. That too, primary school teacher. वो तो फाउंडेशन होता है ना. प्राइमरी स्कूल व्हाट यू लर्न, नॉट ओनली सब्जेक्ट्स, देयर बिहेवियर, देयर वैल्यूज फॉर सोसाइटी, रेस्पेक्टिंग एल्डर्स, वो सभी उधर सिखाता है. इट्स वाई वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर किड्स टू यूज लर्निंग वेरी इफेक्टिवली प्राइमरी, फिर मिडिल, फिर हाई स्कूल. ये तो बहुत बड़ा फाउंडेशन होता है. इधर कोई ना कोई सब्जेक्ट यू में लर्न, मे बी साइंस, मे बी कॉमर्स, मे बी आर्ट्स. योर इंटरेस्ट गेट्स रियली ट्रिगर्ड इन दिस स्कूल पीरियड. You get interested in physics, you may be interested in arts, you may be interested in music. वो सभी बहुत बहुत important है. So I think you try to learn and decide what is that you want to become in life. Many times there will be pressure by parents. You become engineer, you become doctor. I think if you are interested, pursue. Otherwise, I think you have to tell them, I am not interested. My interest is in history. My interest, yesterday I heard Muhammad, the way in which his life shaped is something all of us have to learn. Became a well-known archaeologist, like that. Whereas I had interest in science all through. That's why my favorite teachers, you ask, all are favorite teachers. But then, if somebody is teaching science, somebody is teaching engineering, you have little extra interest because you want to learn. I want to tell you one thing. Learning वो तो class में होता है. You have to be very attentive when teacher teaches. Number one. Number two is, you have to be inquisitive. Ask questions. I have seen the students are very shy. Unless you ask questions, three important questions. Why, what, and how. Sabhi jagah, ye three questions you have to ask. If you ask these questions, you will get the answer, you will learn. For example, इधर सभी air condition है, ये room बहुत cool है. I think we have to think how air conditioning works, how the temperature is maintained at some known required temperature. ये इसको, we have to be inquisitive, curious, and keep asking questions. I think this is the very fundamental behavior one should really learn. I think this is how it happened.
Yeah, and I think this will create or develop scientific attitude in amongst all, because asking why is a big task for students to ask every time.
Sir, we would like to hear from you about your journey of being mechanical engineer to aerospace scientist. Because when you passed out mechanical engineering at that time, there would have been a very high demand for that field, and aerospace may be on the lower side during those days. Then what was your journey of being a mechanical engineer to aerospace scientist, and what prompted you to start your career in aerospace?
वो तो बहुत interesting question है. You know, क्या happened? What happened is very simple. I never dreamt I will become aerospace engineer. वो तो accident है. क्योंकि when I was in IIT Madras, I studied 1967 to 1969. Or 69, somewhere in April, I completed the post-graduation. Somewhere in 68 November, एक advertisement था. You know, those days it's very difficult to get job, that to government job. If you get a government job, वो तो बहुत खुश है, बहुत खुश होता है. एक advertisement था, VSSC. वो those days VSSC नहीं था, वो तो rocket station था, तिरुवनंतपुरम. Their space program just started, and there were some advertisements saying that we are looking for postgraduate students who pass out to come and join. But interesting thing was, they said they will pay expenses for travel and stay in Trivandrum. You know, student days, we didn't have any money or anything. So what attracted me to go to Trivandrum and join space, the simple answer is, it is Kanyakumari. You have heard Kanyakumari? How many of you heard? Raise your hands. All of you want to go there? Yes, you know, that's why. I knew that Kanyakumari is very near to Trivandrum. So 4 of us got interview call from IIT Madras. So we went, and we were not interested to join space or anything because हमें कोई information नहीं था. How it will be, what will happen. Interest was to go to Kanyakumari, then go to the Vivekananda Rock, visit that Kanyakumari temple, all that. So that interest made us to go. We went in train, enjoyed, appeared interview. Somewhere in February 1969, 2 of us got the offer. We felt so happy because we got a job, not that we are going to work in space. You know, it was very, very preliminary stage, nobody knew. So that's how we joined. But what attracted me, as I mentioned already, there were very senior people, Sarabhai. Have you heard the name Sarabhai? How many of you heard? Raise your hands. Good, good. You know, Sarabhai was there and he used to come and go. Kalam was there. Kalam, of course, everybody would know. And he was a very young guy. In fact, myself, Kalam and other senior people, we used to go and play shuttle badminton very regularly every evening. After 8 up to 10, we used to play shuttle badminton. And from there, we have to walk where we stay, lodge, about 2.5, 3 kilometers. Walk, go to a restaurant, eat some tiffin, tea, then go back and sleep. But then what attracted is these great personalities like Sarabhai, then of course Dr. Kalam, many were there like this. And it was a starting organization. And I want to tell you, I will make a presentation a little later. It was the Sarabhai who used to come in white kurta, white pajama. Very radiant personality. And all that made us to stay. They gave us freedom to work. That is important. They never told you do this, you do that. हमें rocket build करना है. You come out with idea and we will start. You know, in the process, we got attracted slowly to various things. And when I joined way back in 25th July 1969, another thing happened. Just a week before, all of you might have heard, on 20th July 1969, very interesting thing happened in the world. Can you tell me what it is? 20th July 1969. Can anybody guess? You know, that was the day 3 Americans went and landed on the moon. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin and Jackie Collins. That came as a very big news. That is the first and last man landing on the moon in the whole universe. Right? Of course, now attempts are being made and shortly, you know, India also has announced by 1940, Beta or Beti, one of them will go and land on the moon. That is all for you youngsters, exciting. I think some of you must try to go and land on the moon. Will you? Will you do it? That is very interesting. You know, that's how I really got attracted, and after that it's history.
बोला कि जॉब के इसमें आपका रुचि जगी थी कि उस कारण से, तो उस दौरान क्या होता था, लाइक अभी भी बहुत सारे बार हमको भी एक्सपीरियंस होता है कि जो क्षेत्र में हम जाना चाहते हैं वहाँ पे यूजुअली हमको वो नहीं मिलता जो हमको हमारी स्पेशलिटी है. और आपके साथ भी मैंने जो पढ़ा था कि यही हुआ था जब आप इसरो में ज्वाइन हुए थे, तो आपने जो पोजीशन के लिए अप्लाई किया था आपको उसके जगह पे कुछ और काम दिया गया था. तो आप 2 मिनट के लिए वहाँ पे थोड़ा सोचे भी थे कि किस तरह से आपने करना चाहिए कंटिन्यू, या मुझे क्या दे दिया है. तो ये एक एक्सपीरियंस एक्चुअली हर किसी के लाइफ में आता है जब भी न्यू जॉब ज्वाइनिंग होती है, वेन एवर दे ज्वाइन. सो हाउ इट वॉज लाइक, हाउ वॉज योर एक्सपीरियंस इन टू इट एंड हाउ यू केम आउट ऑफ दैट डिलेमा दैट शुड आई कंटिन्यू और नॉट?
वो तो बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग होता है. मेरा स्पेशलाइजेशन those days in PG, what you call, as you said, mechanical engineering, उसमें भी machine tool design था. You know, young age you are fascinated by something, all of us. But we should not get locked on to that fascination. Your life will become difficult. मैंने उधर गया, मेरा बॉस तो डॉक्टर S.C. गुप्ता था, वो राजस्थान से था. वो तो control guidance and instrumentation. They asked me to join that particular group. I was sort of puzzled why I am joining control group whereas I am an expert in mechanical engineering. उन्होंने बोला, look Suresh, all of you when you graduate, whether BSc, BCom, BE or whatever field you take, that trains you to learn newer things. You cannot say that I have learned, I am an expert. After all, you have studied for 3 or 4 years. उसके बाद 40 साल होता है कैरियर में, 40-50 साल. You know, that's why he asked me to work in control systems. And I had not studied that subject. I have not touched any computer. I did not know what is simulation. फिर he told he should work. It became a dilemma. I wanted to quit and come back. Then again I came back. Then Kalam was there in the same building. You know, we were staying in lodge. Kalam always stayed in lodge because he was a bachelor. You know, upstairs, and we were staying downstairs. Myself and my friend, 2 joined. I just went and spent some time. He also repeated, ये तो स्पेस है ना, बहुत एक्साइटिंग है, हमें रॉकेट बिल्ड करना है, सैटेलाइट बिल्ड करना है, your mechanical will come into play at some point of time. You can learn. We are all there, you know, you come and discuss. So we used to go discuss with them, go to library, learn things. ये सभी हो गया. So I just after 2 days went and told him, sir, okay, I am agreeing, I will start the work. Believe me, within 3 months we learned that new subject, built our own system, control systems, and after another 3 months, Sarabhai, when he came, he used to come every 40 days once. And we were all youngsters, age of 24, 25. And I was very excited to show the system that I have built. So मेरा boss arrange किया, he came as usual, very friendly guy, you know, very elderly person, but very, very friendly. He will come and then shake hands, pat on the back of every scientist who is there, and we were about 5 or 6. He patted on our back and then looked at the system. We were so excited. You know, so the child, when it finds something, it will go and show to everybody, I got this, I got this. I'm sure all of you would feel that. But then spent 1 hour and shook hands and then patted on the back. That was the best moment I had in my life. You know, person sort of appreciating the work you have done, which you have not studied, you built it, showed him. But next interesting thing is, वो तो हो गया, you know, any time he comes 3 days, 4 days, he will meet several people. After another 4 months he came, and I was walking in the corridor, he was coming in the front. Hi Suresh, how are you? You know, that was very, very exciting. Such a big man, he spent about an hour and maybe he has asked some questions, but he remembers my name and he is asking that question. This is the biggest quality one should develop. You know, मैंने practice किया उसके बाद. You know, you appreciate the good work done, however young or old one is. I think that makes the contribution. That was a lovely experience actually.
That was beautiful, sir. Sir, we were like in the 6th nation, we are in the top 6th nation to launch the rocket. We are also into, like, ISRO has stepped into multiple dimensions now. We have reached moon also. We have reached, you know, like we are studying sun also, Aditya L1 and all. So it is pretty challenging. Like right from young age, it is pretty challenging to make decision in either of when we are confused in 2 different things. तो जैसे आपका भी जर्नी में काफ़ी challenges आए हैं, काफ़ी सारे आपको भी डिसीजंस लेने पड़े हैं, तो बहुत बार क्या होता है कि बड़े बड़े चैलेंजेस में हम थोड़ा सहम जाते हैं. तो यहाँ पे आपके लिए रोल मॉडल जैसे कोई आपको सपोर्ट सिस्टम जो हम बोलते हैं एक डेवलप होना चाहिए हमारा, तो उस तरह से आपके चैलेंजेस में आप और आपका सपोर्ट सिस्टम कैसा था, कैसे आपका डेवलप हुआ, किस तरह से आपको वो हर जगह हेल्प हुई उससे, क्योंकि लाइफ में डिसीजन लेने के लिए जैसा आपने अभी सही कहा कि एक टीचर एक बहुत बड़ा रोल प्ले करता है, स्पेशली द प्राइमरी टीचर, तो वो हमारा सबसे पहला सपोर्ट सिस्टम होता है पेरेंट्स के बाद में. तो वैसे आपके जर्नी में हर स्टेप पे कैसे कैसे आपके साथ जो एक सपोर्ट सिस्टम रहा है, जिन्होंने आपको हर जगह मोटिवेट भी किया है, प्रोत्साहन भी दिया है, डाउट्स भी क्लियर किए हैं, हेल्प भी किए हैं, तो आप अगर एक शॉर्ट में आप अगर स्टोरी बता पाए बचपन से लेके अभी तक तो अच्छा रहेगा.
Adding to this, we would like to hear from you the biggest challenge in your career you have faced and how you overcome that.
Yeah, to me also I want to add something because these days in paper we always read पढ़ते रहते हैं कि ये बच्चों ने 12वीं में कम मार्क मिले तो सुसाइड कर लिया या फिर वो उसको एंग्जाइटी हो गई, वो डिप्रेशन में चला गया, ऐसे न्यूज़ सुनते हैं। तो हम लोगों को लगता है कि ये बच्चों के प्रति आप ये मैसेज दें आपके एक्सपीरियंस में से कि हाउ टू फेस अ चैलेंज इन वंस लाइफ। वो अगर फेलियर भी आया तो कैसे उसको ये करना है, उसके बारे में आप थोड़ा एलैबोरेट करिए।
ओके, उसके बोलता है वर्क कल्चर, ये तो बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है। वर्क कल्चर कैसा होता है, हाउ यू गेट अकस्टम्ड। वो तो सारा भाई ने बोला हमारा देश में हमारा सैटेलाइट बिल्ड करना है। आई विल एक्सप्लेन द होल थिंग इन माय प्रेजेंटेशन। सैटेलाइट क्या होता है, सैटेलाइट से क्या फ़ायदा है, आई एम गोइंग टू टेल यू। वो भी नहीं, ही डिसाइडेड we have to build our own rockets to take the satellite and put it in the orbit. वो तो बहुत मुश्किल है, इसलिए वो बोलता है ना रॉकेट साइंस, रॉकेट साइंस। इफ समथिंग इज नॉट वेरी डिफिकल्ट यू वुड हैव हर्ड इन टेलीविजन डिस्कशन, ये तो रॉकेट साइंस नहीं है, इसलिए बोलता है रॉकेट साइंस। रॉकेट साइंस व्हाई इट इज डिफिकल्ट। सो द क्वेश्चन दैट यू आस्क्ड, how did we succeed? My simple answer is, I think it all depends on the work culture. Are you working in a system where you feel happy to contribute, not under pressure? You know, like we used to get up and feel very happy to go to office. Every evening, when I will get up, when I will go to office. क्योंकि वो तो उस तरफ फ्रीडम था। साराभाई never told you do this, you do that, all youngsters. He only told हमें 40 kg सैटेलाइट है ना, उसमें ऑर्बिट में you have to insert. उसको ये एक व्हीकल चाहिए, कैसे आप कर सकता है। You know, that is the freedom we gave. And we had about 5-6 seniors, I can't call them boss, senior, वो भी freedom दे दिया for all youngsters. And what happened was, we all sort of dedicated to build a rocket in next 7 to 8 years. वो तो important हमारा goal था, that was very important. उसमें I want to tell our youngsters, बहुत सारा failure हो गया, बहुत सारा फेलियर हो गया रॉकेट में। आपने एलन मस्क, हैव यू हर्ड एलन मस्क? हाउ मेनी? रेज योर हैंड्स। एवरीवन। यू नो, ये इसको कहते हैं, ये तो एलन मस्क का प्रिंसिपल क्या है? प्रिंसिपल, यू शुड नॉट गेट वरीड अबाउट फेल्यूर, नॉट ओनली अबाउट स्टूडेंट्स, आई ऑल्सो वांट टू टेल teachers as well as parents, don't discourage if they fail. क्योंकि
Sir, repeat one more time what you have said.
No, I want to tell everybody, particularly teachers, parents, don't discourage your youngsters if they fail in something. But tell them, sort of look at the failure, then understand why you have failed, what is the shortcoming, how you can improve. बहुत सारा लर्निंग होता है फेल्योर में, which you cannot learn without failing. Life में many failures will come. Without failure, this world wouldn't have been there. Please understand that. For some reason you wouldn't have done well. It's okay. Life is not just that one failure, two failure. हमें बहुत सारा failure है. और ये दो questions के आ गया. What is the most challenging task you have faced? I think I will reserve it while making presentation, because I want to tell you the the context behind which has happened. So I will remember that question and give the answer when I make the presentation. Specifically, I address. But one important question is, हमने 1979 अगस्त में फर्स्ट एवर लॉन्च किया. वो तो SLV3 बोलता है. The project director was none other than Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. हम सभी प्रिपेयर किया, असेंबल किया, श्रीहरिकोटा में लॉन्च किया. अनफॉर्चुनेटली इट फेल्ड. वो तो बहुत बड़ा फेल्यूर है. बट यू नो वी आर वेरी लकी टू हैव politicians, the Prime Minister, all people who take decision. Don't worry, try hard and make it all right. उस समय हमारा चेयरमैन था प्रोफेसर सतीश धावन. वो तो he was the director of Indian Institute of Science.
Yeah.
A great
Great
academician and administrator. Both two in one really. Very good. And he came and told, you know, Kalam was the project director. Kalam was worried, it failed, what do I do? I am responsible. He said he will go and address the press. But Dhawan told, no, you don't go. I am the chairman, I take the responsibility. You people have done your job very well, but failure has happened. And that is not end of the world. We reworked, he went and announced, within next 1 year, we will launch successfully. Although we did it, the August 1979 we failed, July 1980 we succeeded. And when we did that, we became 6th nation in the world to put our own satellite using our own vehicle from our own land, and the whole world also recognize India is coming up. You know, that was a starting point. I still remember 1980 July is an important period. Okay?
Sir, coming back to the current situation as of now, around 6-7 years back, there was a big campaign by government, Make in India. But I think ISRO and you and your team has started this particular Make in India, say around 15-20 years back or more than that. So what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, it's a very interesting questions. I think our youngsters should listen carefully. All youngsters. Yes. You know, बहुत important question है. उन्होंने पूछा मेक इंडिया है अभी इंडिया में. ISRO has done everything make in India by beginning. I told you, no, हमारा वर्क कल्चर था बहुत अच्छा था. हमें बहुत बड़ा बॉसेस मिल गया. वो तो साराभाई था, धावन था, कलाम था, all very giants. वो सभी they believed that we have to be self-sufficient, we have to build on our own, फिर give chances to our own youngsters in ISRO program. You know, Sarabhai, although we started space program in somewhere in 1960, it's more than 60 years back I'm talking. He started the ISRO program by taking all our own graduates from our own institutions, and these are the people who build space program. Not a single person from abroad was brought into space program. Number one. Number two is, when we launch our vehicle, I think you would have heard PSLV, GSLV or satellite, उसमें 90% of the products, they all come from our own, built in the country, either in ISRO or industries. हमें about 400, 500 industries are supporting us. All of them are built within the country, whether it's a material, excepting few components which are difficult. There are two reasons. Although we are working in the rocket area, when it comes to rocket can be used even as a missile. इसलिए बहुत बड़ा control regime है, missile control regime. No other country supplies anything under MTCR, it's called Missile Control Regime, Technology Control Regime, and that became a blessing for us. We didn't have any option to build our own system. For example, very sophisticated like gyros, accelerometer, both complicated technology hai. It's very difficult to get. Even you want to get, it's very expensive. They won't supply. We took a decision to build on our own and built fairly good number of them in the country, and we have become totally self-sufficient. So that's why if we make a decision as Indians, please listen, as Indians, we are much, much better than anyone else you can think of in this world. I'm not telling just to praise you. I have interacted with very many people all across the globe. Americans, Europeans, we had very close interaction with Russians, Brazilians, all. The kind of multitasking we do, nobody in the world can match. That is the strength we have. Okay?
In this context, I would like to share with you that in our university, in physics department, we do have microelectromechanical system simulation center, and there we students from engineering college, MTech and ME students, they do work on gyroscopes and accelerometers here. So in Aurangabad also, for students who are here, in Aurangabad also we do simulations and we do work on the fields which are related to this space science. I want to add to this.
It's very good, to hear that in every nook and corner the work is going on in the advanced fields. It all happened because today the country is surging forward. Whether it's a space program, defense program, nuclear program, बहुत advanced हो गया है. In the last 3 to 4 decades, so much has happened. Abhi nuclear power plant, if you take, we are building heavy water reactor. It's being built in Chennai, and it's about to become critical. It's a nuclear power plant. And I think it will happen maybe in another 3 to 4 months. When you see, we will become the second nation in the world to build heavy water reactor after Russia. And मैंने बोला ना, just when we launched 23rd August last year, 2023, when our Vikram ship went and landed on the southern side of the moon, we became the first nation in the globe to do that. That was celebrated not only in India, all across the globe. Why I am saying this, all youngsters should know here, today we have reached a stage in growth, science and technology, we are second to none. Today we can sit in a global table with the same power like any other advanced countries like America, Germany, Japan, Britain, Russia. I think India can sit on the table with the same kind of strength and participate in the discussion.
Sir, does that mean that your team till now has made a rocket ready for the younger generation to go high? The base is already made?
Base is already made, and I think today, I told you, what all the requirement a country needs, we are able to build on our own, assemble on our own, put the different satellites. in my quick presentation, that's why I brought a presentation so that it's not just dreaming. I think you must take a quick look and go back with lot of happiness and proud. We are in a country which is really surging forward. And one more I want to add. We are in 2024, right? And it is the dream of the country, and particularly Honorable Prime Minister, हमें 2047 में, the centenary year of our country, विकसित भारत होना है. That is very important, which means next 25 years are very critical. उसमें सभी बच्चा इधर है ना, you are going to play a pivotal role, and you will become leaders of this country. And when India becomes a developed country, and you are the flag bearers, you will raise your flag and say, India is great. You are going to do that. So feel happy about it.
Yeah, I think this in mind, I think this prompted you to start an academic institute, Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology, right? So, so what are your ideas? And that time, I think Prime Minister Manmohan Singh was behind this, and you started that academic institute. So what are the criterias for getting the admission there, and what kind of education you will give these students in that institute? So that will be beneficial for these students.
हमारा institute है Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology. वो तो established in 2007 we established. There is a story behind that. What happened was we had a practice of going and meeting every Prime Minister whenever we launch successfully. हमारा satellite orbit में होता है, launch success होता है. Then very senior people, about 14-15 people, we used to go and brief Prime Minister. What happened was in 2006, somewhere in June, there was a launch, and at that time Dr. Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister. We all went, and उस समय हमारा chairman था Madhavan Nair. Oh, we made presentation, he appreciated. After the presentation, practice you will go and take a cup of tea. It was in his house. On the right side of the house, there was a lawn, and tea was arranged. Invariably, Prime Minister will go back to his work. That to Manmohan Singh. And that day, what happened, we don't know. He came, and we were taking cup of tea, and we were a little puzzled. He himself comes, Manmohan Singh, and we were discussing something. Then he asked, "Acha, Dr. Nair, आपने बहुत exciting programs you are ahead. आप क्या कर रहे हैं वो human resource को? Where from you are going to get people?" वो तो that was the boom time for IT, information technology. What happened was people used to come out of colleges, go and join only information technology because they used to get good salary. I want to tell you one thing. Don't get lured only by money. Money is not everything. Particularly, we want to achieve something in our life. You have to take interest in any one area you like. Work hard. Pursue that vigor. Your name will be remembered forever. You know, this is the message given by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Kalam used to tell all the time, every child should think, what is that I should be remembered for? If we take that as the aim and work and excel, you know, today we all tell about Jawaharlal Nehru, Swaminathan, Abdul Kalam, many names you can reel out. I'm sure everybody will know here. They all are achievers. That is what is important. So, then Manmohan Singh, when he asked, he said, "Sir, we are not getting good students." So, he gave a hint, "Why can't you start something on your own? I will support." He supported. We started the institute. The institute really teaches just like any other IITs. There is no difference. Although we call Space Institute, we teach aerospace engineering, electronics engineering, mechanical engineering, and of course space sciences. And today admission is only through IIT entrance. You have to write IIT entrance examination, both main and advanced, then apply there and get it. That's how it is. So this is open for anyone, and the students who come out of that, they have done extremely well. And today I want to tell you, majority of them, they go for startups. Today that is the focus, because we are all practical people. That's how come actually.
To ask you that whether this institute supports these startups and all. So you gave the answer. It's very good.
There are very many students who have not only become startups, they have become leaders in many, many areas. I don't have time to really speak out, but I think it has really played its role.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. Definitely the way you said a quote, I'd like to quote one of a line said by APJ Abdul Kalam, and also you have repeated in one of your session in tribute to him, that if you want to shine like a star, first you need to burn yourself like a star. That is a beautiful line quoted by APJ Abdul Kalam, and sir have also, repeated the same in his tribute. So definitely that has always inspired us how we have to burn ourselves first to become the brightest, as today Suresh sir is shining here on our stage. Sir, taking forward to that conversation, how important it is, the family values and traditions, because these also are somehow inherent in us.
This is a very interesting question. I think India can really reach zenith of the globe because the family values are very high in a country like India. It is the family bond, the happiness that it brings within the system, how each child sort of be happy with the parents and their friends. That's why the family values are extremely important. And there is a book again written by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam himself. It's called Family and Nation. How family values are, of course, your learning, your teachers, they are all prime importance. But family is something which plays a very dominant role in our system. And I'm happy that that tradition is being continued. It's not really very much affected, but I think all youngsters don't ever think that this is all every day I talk to my papa, my mummy, and so on and so forth. They are the great supporters, and listen to them. Listen to your inner voice and try to see how you can contribute for building the nation. I think that is important for all of us.
Thank you very much, sir. Actually, we have many questions in our mind, but because of the time constraint, we have to stop here. So I will request him to show his presentation to all of us. Before that, I thank you, sir, for coming over here and enlightening our students. बहुत सिंपल लैंग्वेज में आपने उनको छोटी छोटी बातें जो है लेकिन इम्पोर्टेंट बातें हैं वो आपने उनको एक्सप्लेन की. थैंक यू वेरी मच सर.
I'll go there. And I'll go there and it makes me more happy. क्या करना है? ये तो फर्स्ट स्लाइड है. मैंने बोला था ना, it was Vikram Sarabhai who really started the space program in 1962. But we had lot of difficulties middle 60s. So तो poor country था, food problem था, shelter problem था. But then to think we have to work in space. Space क्या होता है? बहुत complex होता है, बहुत expensive होता है. What is the real force behind starting the space program by Sarabhai in 1960? इसके बोलता है विजनरीज. क्यों विजनरीज होता है? Who can visualize and think ahead. Ahead to build the country. वो तो important होता है ना. So, it was his thought. Space क्या होता है? वो advanced technologies. I will show you. वो सभी advanced technologies होता है. Why should we build rockets? Why should we build satellites? Why should we spend money? इस सभी से क्या फायदा होता है कंट्री को? That is the fundamental question, right? So in fact, he made one statement that we have to utilize the advanced science and technologies for the development of the country and for the benefit of man and society. That is the underlying line. I will tell you how we are done. Next one. How we started this, I think many of you may remember 1962 में Homi Bhabha. You have heard Homi Bhabha? वो तो chairman of atomic energy. ठीक? So he had gone to US and then he was flying back from US to India. Unfortunately, they say it is sabotage. The plane met with an accident somewhere in between and we lost Homi Bhabha. Then, under that unfortunate incident, Sarabhai was appointed as the chairman of the atomic energy. And that time there was no space program. It was Sarabhai when he took over as the chairman of space program, he decided we should start a space program, and first thing he did was he created Indian National Committee for Space Research in COSPAR. That is the first thing he did, and the space program took birth. Then of course, as I mentioned earlier, he also wanted to develop the satellite, develop the launch vehicle, that is rockets. So the first ever rocket was launched. Have you heard Tumba? Anybody has heard Tumba? Tumba is a place, it is 10 kilometers south of Trivandrum in Kerala. Okay? Whole space program started in Kerala, in Trivandrum. And can you see the launch that is taking place on the shore? That's where the first ever launch given by USA, America, on 21st November 1963, it happened. That is the day we say rocketry took birth in India. What was the date yesterday? What was the date yesterday? And how many years over? It's a good thing, so this is, and I told you it's 10 kilometers, and at that time, of course, the range was used by all countries because Sarabhai had very good friendship with all space scientists across the world. They all came there, and we started to really understand the atmosphere, weather, and all that. Next one. What happened in the last 60 years, 21st November 1963, I think what you see, we started that tiny rocket, 75 millimeters, 3 inches, a tiny rocket. Whereas on 23rd August 2023, do you know what it is? What lander? Vikram. It's named after Vikram Sarabhai, to remember him. Vikram, and it is still there on moon. And somewhere in 2007, we launched our Chandrayaan-1, and we also put what is called Moon Impact Probe, which carried an Indian flag, and we planted our Indian flag on moon in 2007. Next one. This is a story here. This is the church which is there in Tumba. This church, Saint Mary Magdalene Church, okay? And Bishop's house was there, and all fishermen belonging to Christian community. They were all there in Tumba range. When Sarabhai wanted to start the space program, we wanted a launch base. It is possible only on the sea side. By examination, we found, due to scientific reasons, I will not get into that. So we wanted to get the Tumba range. But how do we get it? There is a church, there is a bishop, there are many houses in that range. So what happened was, Sarabhai, along with the collector of that Thiruvananthapuram district, he went and requested Bishop, look, we want to build space program for the benefit of the nation, and we want this range for our launches. Can you help us by giving this space? We will give twice this place down further for your fishermen. He was, very, very supportive, and he said, give me about 1 month time, I will come back. When Sarabhai went after 1 month, the bishop simply told, woman. This is the reason how science is picked up to religion. Really, this is the place where our real rocketry was started, because the completely Mary Magdalene Church was replaced to some other place, and all our officers and others were here. In fact, when I joined way back in 1969, for a month I was sitting in this church building. This is how we started our program. Today we have created a big museum in the same church building. Anybody who is going to the city of Thiruvananthapuram, make it a point to go and visit. You can visit, okay? You tell your parents to make this as one itinerary, and you will see what all happened. These are the 4 people who really contributed in the very beginning. One is Sarabhai, I think already I mentioned, and we have to use advanced technologies for the benefit. I will tell you how. Then, of course, Satish Dhawan, who led the Fern Foundation after Sarabhai's death. It was 1971 December. Unfortunately, Sarabhai died at the very young age. He was not even 60 actually. He came to Trivandrum. He did meetings, he conducted meetings as late as 1 o'clock, went and slept in Kovalam. Morning when the tea boy went to open the door, there was no response. Then we found out he had a very massive heart attack. So that's what really happened. And Satish Dhawan took over, and he really gave the very end. He was the longest serving chairman for space program. 12 years he was there. He was also concurrently director of Indian Institute of Science. Then, of course, the rocketry pioneer is none other than Kalam himself. He was there for almost 21 years, and I was fortunate to work with him for 16 years. Then, of course, Professor U.R. Rao. Have you heard the name? He was the person who really established the satellite activity. Next. This is the rockets that we have built. Just to tell you how we advanced, okay? This is what we started, the small rockets in Tumba. This is the one, our Kalam was the project director, and I told you, 40 kg. And this failed in 1979, first ever launch, but we launched successfully. We learned a lot of lessons. This is the one which is called augmented satellite launch vehicle. These are all learning curve. What you see on the left, they are all where we learned our lessons. The question asked was, how did you learn lessons? What really happened? I want to tell you, we faced a lot of problems. We faced a lot of failures. वो सभी, very difficult period. And one question asked, what was the most challenging task that you have carried out? That is really to make it successful, this what is called augmented satellite launch vehicle. Because what happened was, 1982, we prepared the augmented satellite launch vehicle, launched. Rajiv Gandhi was the Prime Minister, he came. But then, unfortunately, after few seconds, this rocket failed. We were all very disappointed because SLV, then 3 more flights we had launched successfully, whereas ASLV failed. Then it took about 1 year for us to, what we do is, we will call experts from all over the country, sometimes abroad to discuss, learn, correct, then go ahead. The second one failed in 1983. 2 successive failures. It was very difficult period. Wherever we go, people used to ask, why are you wasting money? What is it you are going to do? How it helps the country? Those are the period. Even we ourselves, whenever we go somewhere, meet some friends or our hometown, someone asks a question, what are you, where are you working? We used to feel shy to tell I work in space department, because immediately they will criticize you. Why are you wasting time? Why are you wasting money? What is that is going to help in the country? We didn't have an answer because we had not done anything. We took 4 long years for us to really rectify, correct, and then launch successfully somewhere after 4 years. So that was the period when we really say most challenging task, we could learn from failures, achieve success. This is where I am telling. I repeat, failure is the milestone for success. And what you learn from failure, you can never learn by any other means. Because once it fails, you know why it's not working, right? So once you know why it's not working, your understanding will become much better. That's why you need to, and don't get perturbed. I think this is the one lesson all of you should carry. Then of course, we have done number of developments here. The PSLV you would have heard. Have you heard PSLV? What is PSLV? What is the expansion of PSLV? Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. Then of course the GSLV, geosynchronous. This is basically for remote sensing. This is for communication. This is the biggest launch we have today. When it takes off, how much it weighs? 637 tons when it just takes off in Sriharikota. That is the one, the third one, what you see here, which launched our Chandrayaan 2 and Chandrayaan 3. This is the one which created the history actually, that particular launch. And today we have launched something like 94 launches from our own land, our own rockets, and I will show you that. Then of course we have built the small satellite. That is, you come and tell me I want to launch a satellite of some 100 kg, 200 kg. It takes a lot of time. But we have come out with a solution. Although within 2 days, 3 days you can build. That is the kind of satellite we have won. What you see in the end, it's only a matter of time. Another 2 or 3 years, you will see our own Indians going around the earth, and we will sort of become the 5th nation in the world to take man into the orbit and bring back. We have already selected the astronauts. They have gone under training at Russia. They are sort of further getting trained at US, and one of them possibly will fly to space station, International Space Station, under one of the Artemis contract. Under that it has happened. Next one. This is what we have done. 94 launches we have had so far. But also you see 9 failures we have. If I say that today that we have succeeded because of that 9 failures, and we have launched 135 satellites of our own. I'll show you some satellites, how it will look like and all that. Then of course that sort of What these satellites do, I will also tell in simple words so that you understand. What is remote sensing? Remote sensing is when you have your mobile phone, you take and then you sort of take photographs, right? Today it has become very simple. Wherever you are, pull out your mobile and take photographs. You do or you don't do? Yes or no? Yes. Same thing, what you do is you put a camera right in the sky. Once you put in the sky, it sort of always orbits from north to south, the satellites, the remote sensing. Whereas Earth rotates from west to east, right? When you do, you take photograph by camera, it takes the full circle of the whole Earth. And when Earth rotates and it keeps orbiting in the same plane, when Earth rotates in one day, you can take the photograph of the entire Earth in one day, whatever photograph you want. That is the beauty of that. Then, of course, you can see the students have built 16 payloads, 342 foreign satellites we have launched. You name a country, we have launched them. Whether it's America, whether it is Germany, UK, Korea, any country, those who are in need. In fact, that's increasing because our cost is less than half of what others can launch. That is the beauty of Indian program. Then, of course, as on today, we have 56 satellites looking towards country. They are all alive. We are the largest country in the Asia Pacific region to have this kind of satellite numbers. This is just to say how the satellites will look like. We started Aryabhata. Have you heard? That was the first satellite we have built in 1975. In 1975, we didn't have launch vehicle. We went to Russia and we used what is called Vostok vehicle. Russia and India, we are very good friends. They simply said, you bring your satellite, you will launch free. No charge, nothing was done actually. We just took our satellite, and this was the agreement between the Russian president and the then Prime Minister, Indira Gandhi. So they said, you build a satellite, bring it here, we will launch it. All that, that's all history. Then of course you can see the number of launches, and one of them which is bigger, even European program, Ariane is an European program. They also launched for us. They became our friends. Next. These are what I mentioned as the remote sensing. See, resource sat. The resource sat means you can visualize and try to understand what kind of resources are there on the earth. You can know about water, you can know about agriculture, you can know about minerals, many things like that you can do. I will give some. Then similarly, Kato is for mapping. The entire Aurangabad we can map, and we can give to you in a week's time if you want. We bring the satellite to this particular place. That's what happens, whenever some problem comes, you will see the satellite pictures are coming. This is what we are doing. Then of course, to understand the sea, it's called ocean sat. That is called radar sat. That is, if there is a cloud, whether this thing still we can see. You see, then what we have done is, we are trying to understand the land and water. This is what I told. How do you serve the society? For us to know the land and water, I will show you. Then to generate the maps, to understand the ocean. Ocean is important for us to understand the weather. Today weather prediction in TV you would have seen. In the end they will show you the weather prediction. Dekha hai ab sabhi temperature kya hai, whether it's going to rain, wo sabhi aata hai na. Then of course weather and climate. And what you see below, we started with something like a clarity of photograph was 1 kilometer when we started. Today it is few millimeters. I can tell you this building, whether the windows are open or closed by taking satellite picture. And how many people are coming, how many people are going, I can tell you. That is the kind of data that we can generate by the satellites. Next. I'm rushing up because I have how our administrators convince the government. It's okay for Sarabhai to say that we need to have the space program, it's beneficial, but how do we convince? Because money is involved, all in hundreds of crores. What he did was, he went to US, United States of America, then ATS-6 satellite, what you see here on the right side, that is the satellite, which was already there in the, under US program, but it was in their region. He requested them to move it to on top of Indian region, give it for about 6 months. He convinced them. We brought the satellite. Then, of course, at that time, you can see that the TV programs were generated in the regional languages, that is in Gujarati and in Hindi. It was done in these two stations, and the antennas were put everywhere, like you have your DTH antennas today, similar to that big antenna. And we sort of selected about 200,000 people around 2,400 villages in Rajasthan, Bihar, Orissa, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh, and connected in the villages. Can you see the all village people looking and then watching it actually? So this way, they were to beam very many programs in their regional languages at fixed time. It became a roaring success. It happened in 1975. Then, of course, government got convinced, yes, I think we should go and we should do it. They gave the approval. Next. You know, these are the how we built the various communication satellite today. I think we are so well connected with everybody all over the globe because of these kinds of satellite. Next. Next. You know, this is the biggest satellite we have built, 6,000 kilograms. Can you see the kind of complexity which is involved? We don't have the capability to launch it. We went to Ariane program, Europeans, and launched from that. This was one of the very big spacecraft built, and then today it's providing very good service, Ariane 5 launch. Next. You know, this is just to tell you the kind of observations we can do. Water preservation, we can tell you. Fishery assistant, you know, I can tell the fishermen where they should go in the sea and where I will show you one separate slide on that. How you can direct the fishermen to go where they want, okay? Put their net, collect and bring back. Earlier they used to search. There used to be problem. Nothing like that is there. Similarly, you know, the whole lots of things what you see on the left and some of the pictures what it will come, it will look like that. Just to get an idea. Next. I have a movie to show, so don't go away. One very good video is there. Please look at it and go. Okay, just 5 minutes, we will complete it. You know, this, for example, how you can help the farmers, all that is required for farmers, you can use and then utilize that actually, okay? Next. You know, this is, for example, Kerala. I have taken what kind of plants are there, what kind of growth they do, this complete information. Similarly, on the right side, you can see the drought, how much it rains, when it doesn't rain, all that we can show. Next. You know, this is what I told fishermen. Today, we are able to really predict, and it comes in boards in different places across the country, and also we are giving them just like mobile. They can use it and then decide where to go, latitude, longitude, it just goes there. So from that they can go and take a look. Next. This is for the cyclone prediction. You know, in fact, I want to tell you, in 2003, 2004, when it happened, we didn't have this kind of satellite activity. About 10,000 people died at that point of time. And same thing happened in 12th October. Not a single life was lost. Everybody survived by having this kind of program. That is the advantage of... Next. Okay, now you can put the movie. Just look at the movie and then go. It is very interesting. What you see here, you know, is the launch tower which is in Sriharikota. On that we built the launch vehicle. This is the first stage what you see here. Okay? And when we build it, the height will be something like a 17-story building. That is the height actually. This is how we assemble one stage after another stage and how it is built. The second stage is assembled. And you can see the size and people, what is the big size and how it looks like. They all look like ants actually. This is the satellite, what you see. This is how we test the satellite because its own solar panel we deploy and then check it on ground. This is, you beam the light and then see how much power it generates. She was the project director, incidentally, we in ISRO, very many women, they are the leaders in carrying out various tasks. Satellite is being assembled and what you see on either side, it's called thermal shielding. It just comes and then sits across that, you can see here. Now the vehicle is ready, standing majestically, 17 stories long, and it's about 425 tons it weighs. It's called PSLE. Can you see that? It's all assembled, doors are open. Now the vehicle is moving on wheels. It will go to the launch base and then gets assembled at that point. So it's sitting on the launch tower. Now the countdown will start, and this is the control center where we control everything. You can see the people who are all sitting and then watching various things, all computers. You can see the kind of issues involved. This particular launch, Dr. Kalam came. It's one of the old ones I have brought.
Minus 40 seconds. Minus 35 seconds. Minus 30 seconds.
Onboard computers in flight mode.
Real-time program activated. Minus 25 seconds. Minus 20 seconds. 15.
Nation
10,
enabled.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is the antenna which tracks it on a continuous basis. As it goes, you will see the various, how it performs in the plot board, and you can really see how it's coming. You can see that blink is the one which you get through telemetry, and you will see what's happening. And thin red line is what we want. We have put it in the board, and you can see the separation. The first stage is over, it is separated. This is how the payload fairing is separated because your satellite is protected. These are the signals we get on the plot board. There are thousands of operations done, all as programmed. If any one thing goes wrong, your mission is a failure. That is the difference between success and failure. Okay? Now almost it's getting over, and you can see the satellite will be injected shortly. And you get the other parameters on the right side.
Yes, Sat is separated successfully.
As you can see,
Separated. And now both the satellites built by ISRO are launched on IRA on the 9th launch of the PSLV C6 had been successfully injected into the orbit.
You can see the jubilation, how people are. Just you listen to Kalam, then with that we will close.
Chairman, Indian Space Research Organization, Mr. Madhav Nair, and all friends, and day and night, you are all working here. So I congratulate all of you for an excellent performance of PSLV 6 and the Cartosat 1 and the Hamsat satellite, all in good performance. I was watching, so I was very proud of you. The country is proud of you. Wish you all.
Close it. So that is the one I thought you will get a clear picture of what has happened. And with this I close, and thank you very much for the opportunity. बहुत धन्यवाद.
The very first question was you received Padma Shri award in 2002 and Padma Bhushan in 2013 from Government of India. What were your feelings at that time?
Well, one certainly will feel very happy when you get the national recognition. But then I never anticipated. It was jubilant, and at the same time, when you received this kind of recognition, obviously you feel very happy, but it was both the times unexpected, because we don't have any godfathers, anyone anywhere. Just like that, in fact, I still remember, and when the Padma Awards in 2003 was announced, we were not expecting. In fact, that day it was somewhere in the evening, 8 o'clock, I was having fever and I was lying down in the sofa. And my wife sitting in one of the sofas, suddenly she saw my name being flashed. She woke me up and told, your name. I couldn't believe. Then we had to go to several channels. Then onwards, that day, till 1 o'clock, phone call after phone call. We just couldn't stop. Same thing happened in 2013 also.
This is the third year of this Padma Festival. Gyanyajnah Foundation, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, Aurangabad is organizing these Padma festivals. So we need your comment on the organization of this Padma festival.
First of all, I must appreciate and congratulate for whomsoever has conceived this idea of inviting the awardees, particularly Padma awardees, for the simple reason it is well recognized all over the country, number one. Number two, it's also given to every domain one can think of, be it drama, be it culture, be it science,
yes,
medicine,
true.
whatnot. And also trying to bring the students and then exposing them. I'm sure a small percentage of them will get excited.
Certainly.
And they get motivated that they also should do something. Number one. Number two is they also get an exposure to the different fields. Even yesterday when I was hearing two lectures, one Ramanayak and subsequently Muhammad, I myself got excited. The kind of problem they faced, the achievement they did. Imagine what will happen to the young minds. So this is something remarkable. I must say that we have been doing it pretty well, organizing it very well. I only hope this kind of activities will increase all over the country and excite our youngsters. My congratulations to each one of you for doing this job so well.
Thank you very much, sir, for coming over.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
From audience, one or two questions we will take. Anybody interested?
Sir, after the independence, there were many commotions in our country. Partition had happened, and there were people were fighting among them. So, how did you convince the whole people living in the country? Because it will be it a little bit easier to convince the government for the launches and all. But how did you convince the whole people living in the country?
No,
As-
I already mentioned, it's because of the stature of the people who really undertook the initiative of starting the space program. It was people like Sarabhai, it was people like Satish Dhawan, people like Kalam, people like Professor E.R. Rao, all stalwarts. And number one. Number two is we by and large compared to the global scenario, we are very successful. And we were able to give returns to the country for every paisa that is being invested. So that way government convinced, yes, we should support. And one important input I want to give is, no matter which political party comes into power, ISRO is supported 100% all along, whichever party, no problem.
Sir, my next question is, what inspired you in the science?
No, see, science itself is inspiring. There is nothing like one subject inspiring the other, because they are all interlinked. If you really want to succeed, the basic fundamental science what we learn, physics, chemistry, mathematics and biology, they are the real foundations for anybody to succeed. So certainly once you are good at it and want to pursue a particular area which interests you, you can do wonders. But your fundamentals should be very good.
Sir, my question would be, the parts of satellite that failed out, were that programmed to fall in a certain area, the oceans for example?
Yeah, you are right. In fact, we call them space debris. Very carefully we have to handle them. So we have several mechanisms by which we try to clear the debris. Otherwise it will create problem for other satellites. So there are many methods which we can use to clear the surface which it causes as the debris.
Thank you, sir, for giving us motivation. Sir, my question would be that, what gave you the inspiration for taking the aerospace engineering and you became the space scientist?
No, there is so much more to do in the country today. Ultimately, it is the job of scientists and engineers to really build the nation apart from others. But the acceleration in the development happens always by scientists and technologists. You take any developed country, America, Russia, Europe, any country, they are all advanced countries because they are advanced in science and technology. We are almost knocking on the door, we are reaching there, and it's only maybe another 10 to 12 years we will really become one of the strong nations who will build the science and technology activities.
So my next question, that a child has a dream from the young age. My dream was another, like you having a dream that you will be the space scientist. So your parents would accept it for you to be a space scientist?
There is nothing like anybody being born as a space scientist or the cardiologist or, it all depends on one's interest. You have to look for what is your interest and try to develop that interest, learn what is related and keep on working so that you excel. Ultimately, I told you, how you are able to really come out very successfully, achieve something, but you must be dedicated. If he made one statement of Kalam, if you want to burn like a sun, first you have to learn yourself to burn like a sun, really.
Sir, I am glad to stand before you and ask a question for you. My question is that which was your shyest moment for your schooling and how you come up from it? By which inspiration and who gave you that inspiration?
Inspiration, nothing like you can't name any one person. I think of course, initially all that has to come from, as I mentioned earlier, from your parents, father, mother and teachers. That's where your initial interest you have to pick up. But as you go along, depending on the interest you have, you should really approach them, talk to them. If it is science, you must understand how the big scientists have performed, how they perform. You have to read them and learn from them and how they achieved success. You must know them and then keep doing. There is no fixed formula by which you can do that. It's all in your own interest, in your own effort, you have to move forward. Okay?
Thanks a lot, sir.